Hello, welcome to January favourites. I've got a fair few this month, so we'll just work our way through. To begin with, two movies. They're both actually musical movies. One is Tick Tick Boom, of course, I finally got to watch it. And the second one is Encanto, which again, I finally got to watch it and I really enjoyed. Then TV shows, still Jane the Virgin. We have watched a very sad episode this month. And as a result, the next few episodes have been quite sad and we're not very happy about it, but we have really enjoyed the show still. Next, I've got two books. I've got Adulthood is a Myth by Sarah Anderson, which is one of those comic books that I just wanted a light thing to read. And the second one is probably the complete opposite from that. It's Jews Don't Count by David Baddiel. And Hannah Witten mentioned this book on some sort of video, I can't remember what, and it made me curious, so I decided to see if the online library app had it, and it did, and I had to wait for it to come out, but then when it did, I started reading it, and it's very thought-provoking, so I would recommend it. Next, I've got a play, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. It's incredibly confusing, and I don't really think I got the total gist of the play. I don't really know Hamlet, so that probably didn't help, but I did enjoy the play. Now we've got a lot of musicals. I listened to a lot of musicals. Again, a lot of these I don't know the plot to, and then I also watched a couple. So the first few, which I don't actually know anything about except what I listened to, are Once, Wearing Someone Else's Clothes, which I haven't listened to before, Bat Boy, which I think I've listened to before as well, Baby, Superhero, which I really enjoyed, and The Man in the Ceiling, which I love, but again I know very little about. I have listened to it before. It's my housemate's favourite musical, so often if we're both in the kitchen I hear music, but I do really enjoy it. On this list I've also put Debbie Does Dallas. I love Tom Kitt. Next to Normal is one of my favourite musicals. I decided to go into Spotify and just look up some Tom Kitt musicals that I hadn't heard before, and this was one of them, and me being the innocent me that I am, did not consider that this would be vulgar, and it really is. So I was quite uncomfortable. So I don't know if I necessarily would say it's a favourite, but I do love Tom Kitt, so you know. Now I've got a whole bunch of Star Kid musicals. My housemate hasn't seen any Star Kid musicals, so I introduced them to it and we watched a lot. So I think we began with The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, and then I think we watched a Harry Potter musical, and then we watched Twisted, I think, and then Holy Musical Batman, then a Harry Potter sequel, then a Harry Potter Senior Year, and then Black Friday. I think that was the order. I might be wrong, but rewatching all of them, especially with my housemate, was such fun, so I really enjoyed that. Lastly, I've got two slightly other. One is Newsies. I just got back into listening to this on repeat. Like, I loved Newsies when I first listened to it, and I just haven't for a while, as in haven't listened to it for a while. And I just got back into it and I just thoroughly enjoyed it. And the second one is Beauty and the Beast. More will be spoken about this in a future video, potentially the next favourites. Just, you'll see. Now for music, I've got three. I've got the Enchanted score, which again, I don't think I ever sat down and just listened to the score. I love the movie, but I was at work one day and just listening to the score and I loved it. It's really beautiful. Then I've got the Macarena, which again, I was just playing at work loads and it kept us occupied when we were bored. And lastly, of course, Come to Your Senses from Tick Tick Boom. I just love that song. I think it's beautiful. I think I was first introduced to it about a year ago, and ever since then I've loved it. Now I've got three food things. I've got olives. I really like olives now. I think I always kind of liked them, and I think they are still a little hit or miss, but I've just really been enjoying them this month. Then halloumi. I love halloumi. I am obsessed with halloumi. It's like tofu but better. I love it so much. And lastly, fake chicken tikka slices by the brand Squeaky Bean. I just dared to try it once, and oh my goodness, it's insane. I haven't had meat in, you know, like 10 years, maybe more, but I think it was like the right texture for chicken and it tasted really nice. And I'm not one who necessarily likes it when it looks like the meat because it makes me a bit uncomfortable, but I just loved this, so I'd highly recommend. And lastly, I've got one other, and that's the acting technique Meisner. I was introduced to the Meisner technique, God, probably 3 years ago, and then kind of haven't really done anything with it for 2 years. And just in January, that was rekindled, and I just really like it. Now, my song of the month is 3090 from Tick Tick Boom. Of course, I love this song so much. I was first introduced to it probably about a year ago as well, and it's just so good. And also the bit that goes, they're singing happy birthday, you just wanna lay down and cry, reminds me of the bit in Days of Summer from a Harry Potter sequel, which is, we've got these days of summer to remind us of each other. Just very similar. Okay, that's all from me. I will see you in the next video. Bye!